All right, welcome back to House of L Comics. Happy New Year. What we're going to do today is we're going to do our favorite pickups of 2024. It could be, it's definitely not going to be money wise because some of them are more expensive, but most of mine are just my favorite ones that I picked up this year.
And most of mine are kind of just like anything that I like this year, I basically bought. So that's pretty much what mine is.
We're going to try to do more regular content this year instead of the one every 6 months like we have been doing. Hopefully we stick through it, but you know, New Year's resolutions, you never know.
Yeah.
So I'm going to start off first. The first one that I got is I've been looking for this one for years in a 9.8. I finally found one when I was trying to get one for my youngest son because he was named after this one of the characters. And I found this one at the same time I found the one that I got him. But this one is a newsstand. And it's Adventures of Superman, number 500, the first appearance of Connell, John Henry Irons,
Connell, John Henry Irons, Cyborg Superman, Hank Henshaw.
Yeah,
and then Eradicator.
Yeah, Eradicator.
And
this is a newsstand, 9.8, so it's not the best one. The best one is the DC Universe one, but it's still a really low print run. And
for you to get at 9A is actually pretty decent.
Yeah. So this was, I got this right at the very beginning of last year, January. So this was probably one of the first ones that I got last year. So that's mine.
All right, and then my first one, it's not my very first book, but it's still the same cover that I bought for $1 at one of our local comic book shops when I first was a kid. And even though it's a 8.5, it being signed by Artgerm, it makes it worth a lot. And I got it for really cheap for the time that I bought it.
And what is this one?
This is Superman, Batman, Annual 4. This is technically the first full appearance in continuity of Terry McGinnis' Batman Beyond.
I thought it was a different Batman. I thought it was
No, that was Superman Batman 21, and he mistakenly put Tim Drake, but it was supposed to be Terry McGinnis.
But the Artgerm signature on this one really makes it.
It makes it worth a pretty hefty penny, but I mostly bought it because this is my first book that I ever got out of a dollar bin, and then it blew up about 5-6 years later, and I really wanted a good grade, and having the signature was a really good one.
Okay. All right, the next one I got is was blowing up really big last year for the movie, and I just wasn't able to afford to get it. And then right after the movie bombed, that I was able to afford to get. But I haven't got it slabbed yet. It's the first appearance of Blue Beetle. This is in the Charlton comics. And this is the second Blue Beetle, not the first Blue Beetle. The first Blue Beetle, I can't remember his name.
You said this is what?
The first appearance of Blue Beetle? The second Blue Beetle.
No, this is the
solo. No, this is the first appearance of Question.
This is the first appearance of Question, but it's also the first solo title for the second Blue Beetle Tech Cord. Yes.
This is the first appearance of the Question. The Question was an original Charlton Comics character.
Yes.
And they actually adapted him first, and the only live action adaptation was actually a bastardization of it when he was
and Watchmen.
Watchmen. And they made him, what was it?
Rorschach?
Yeah, Rorschach. And because DC wouldn't give him permission to do the Charlton comics that they just bought, so he said screw it, and he made all the Charlton Comics characters that he wanted to use, and he just redid them.
Yes.
So
and that was, what was it? It was Alan Moore and
Yeah.
and I can't remember who else.
it was Alan Moore is the one that did it. He was wanting to rework after they bought all the Charlton Comics characters.
Yeah.
And he wanted to use the Question, Blue Beetle, because that's what Owlman was Blue Beetle. Everyone
Yeah.
thought he was a copy of Batman, but he was actually
He was a copy of Blue Beetle. Silk. What was her name?
Silk Spectre.
Yeah, Silk Spectre was a copy of Night Shadow.
Right.
And then, what was it? Jewel and her partner.
The big blue guy was actually a copy of Captain Atom.
Yeah, he was a copy of Captain Atom, and I can't remember what the other two were a copy of.
But
yeah.
the Question is a really cool character. I liked him, especially in the New 52 era. That's when I really got to know him, was in the New 52 run, when he was training I can't pronounce
Maria
it.
Montoya.
Yeah, and
that was right before the New 52 era.
right, and it was Vic,
Yeah.
and he really got my attention then, and I started following him then. But he was one of my favorite characters, and the reason I like the Question so much is he doesn't take anything at face value. He wants to look at underneath. So,
I really liked him in Crisis of Infinite Earths.
and I got it for a really good price too.
Yeah.
I think it was
What, you paid $60 on it?
yeah, $60 or $70 for it,
Yeah.
and that's a really good price for a Silver Age.
Even though they're going for a little bit lower right now, Raw, it was still.
And I
worth a
think
good
this
time.
is probably
maybe a 4.
maybe a 5 if it gets a really good press and clean.
Yeah.
But
It's just the knee right at the bottom. I
Yeah.
don't know. And then I went after the same thing a little bit after he did, but I stretched myself thin. I'm missing one, and that's the first Silver Age appearance of the first Blue Beetle, Dan Garrett.
mhm.
Dan Garrett, and also the first appearance of the Scarab.
So this is a set.
Yes, this is all a set. I'm gonna start off with number 1, which is
The Question.
the first question, and first solo of Ted Kord. And I got mine for a little bit, about $20-$30 more, just because it was a little bit after you. And yeah, and then right after that, I started going after more of the set, because before then I got this one. And that is the first appearance of Jaime Reyes,
The third Blue Beetle.
the third Blue Beetle, but in costume. Not his first cameo when he first finds it. That was 3 issues before.
Yeah, and the deal with Jaime is Ted Kord. He didn't actually have any powers. All of his was all of his was gadgets that he created himself. But Jaime Reyes, just like the first Blue Beetle, actually had the Scarab implanted into his skin.
Yeah, it was the fact of Ted Kord didn't want to deal with anything with the Scarab without knowing what.
And I thought I
what he was
wouldn't
used.
accept him.
It was a little bit of both. They changed it around a couple times. I think it was when he got his second solo series in the New 52. They changed it to where he didn't trust the Scarab as much, but it's been changed a little bit before. And then right after that, I went after number 2, which is the origin of Ted Kord and the death of Dan Garrick. Okay, and that was I actually read this story, and it was really good, and I thought they really did a good job with Ted Kord back then. Now I'm more of an older comics person. I really did anything after 2011 with New 52. I really didn't like, but I did like this story, number 2, and it's also the second appearance of Question. This is the third appearance of Question right here, 3rd issue, and then I got number 4, and then number 5, and that's the whole series of Ted Kord's Blue Beetle. It was only limited to 5 issues until it got canceled. Right in between that, or a little bit after, they did Mysterious. I can't. It's hard for me to pronounce this.
Let me see. Mysterious
Suspicions, and that was the first solo series of Question, and I got that one too. I got that one for a real steal though, and then I got the reprint of First Question, the '77 reprint.
And that was also done by
Steve Ditko.
No. It was done by Charleston Comics, just like the rest of them.
Yeah.
But that was right before DC bought him out.
Yeah, and then this one was again a reintroduction of Blue Beetle and Question, and I got that one too. And then right on top of that, I also got this one. This one is the first appearance of Ted Kord Blue Beetle at 4.5.
And that's a really good one.
And that was the whole.
He's more of a completionist than I am. I like getting the keys, even though we made a trade for this one because I was the one that originally bought this one.
Yeah.
And he traded.
But I had to have it. After I got that Question, I had to have the full set, and I'm still looking for a first Silver Age Blue Beetle. Of the first Blue Beetle, and that one's being the most difficult. Even though I used to have one, and I sold it at really cheap. I need another one.
Okay, the next one is I jump around. I'm more of a key collector, but I try to concentrate mainly on DC Comics. I do a Marvel here and there. I have a Marvel in here. But this one I bought at the beginning of this year, and I bought it when I found out that CGC was going to start doing the verifications of already signed books. And Michael Turner was one of my favorite artists. And I already had the Aspen Comics version of this, and I saw this on eBay, and I had to get it. Now, I didn't buy it already slabbed. I bought it graded. I bought it raw. And then I sent it in and I got it verified through CGC. And I was really surprised when I got a 9.6 because I was thinking it was more of like a 9.2, 9.4. But our presser, Justin, from Justin Comics, did a really good job on it. And he got it up to a 9.6. And Michael Turner, rest in peace, was one of the best artists for the female form. He only worked 5-6 years before he died in a car accident.
Yeah, it was. I remember he did the full run. He did most of the full run of Batman Superman.
Mm-hmm.
He did a couple of, I think, Rebirth. So it was what, 18, 17, 18?
Yeah, something like that.
And I still can't stop collecting his work. I almost bought a 1 in 25 Justice. It was a 1 in 10 Justice League sketch that he did, and I just think all of his work is phenomenal. And I'm still trying to go after his San Diego Comic-Con Superman Batman 8.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have that one, but mine was a 9.6. So, but I bought that a few years ago. So,
and then this is another one that came in a set, but I just recently got it. The other one I got a couple of years ago. And this one completes it. This is a Heroes for Hire 5.0 first appearance of Luke Cage. And I think Diamondback. I've been looking for this one for god-awful while, and I finally completed the set. I have a first full Jessica Jones, a first Luke Cage, and then I have the wedding issue, which the Jessica Jones and the wedding issue are both signed, and the Jessica Jones is a sketch too by Mac.
mm-hmm.
And then in Raw I have the first cover and the first appearance of their child Danielle Cage too. Mm-hmm. So I have a full set of this, and I'm so happy that I got this at 5.0.
And He just barely made the cutoff for 2024 because he bought this
It was
last week.
I literally got this not even 6 days ago,
Yeah.
and I was so happy that this came in because I thought it was gonna come in maybe Thursday,
Yeah.
and
It got here in like 2 days.
yeah, I spent what, 200 on it.
I think it was like 250.
Yeah,
So he got it for a really good price for a mid grade.
yeah. I still I love it. I love this book. This was one of my top 10 books,
Especially for one being one of the first black superheroes. Too.
Yes.
Even though Luke Cage was very racistly drawn for the 70s, but you know.
And his, oh my god, I read the Raw when I had it in Raw. I
Uh,
read it. It was the show. The show got. They didn't do the whole caption, but they got a decently close with
Yeah.
it.
Okay, my next one is another Raw one. And this one I got from Tater Tot Comics in Missouri. And it's not the first appearance of Bizarro, but it's his first adult appearance. Because the first time he appeared was in Superboy, and he was a boy, and he was Superboy too. But this is Action Comics 254, the first adult appearance of Bizarro.
Yeah, the one Lex Luthor made.
Yeah,
If I read that one correctly, he made it in this one.
and this one is just extremely hard to find. I mean, it took me 40 years to find it, and it needs a good clean and a press.
And even then, it's gonna get a low grade, but it's still.
I would say it's a clean and press. You might be able to get a 4 out of it.
I want to say a 3.5 to a 2.5, but I wouldn't get your hopes up. But any grade that this comes back in, it's still it was worth every dime, especially with all the hype of Superman right now.
Mm-hmm.
It was so worth it. It's so worth it.
Yeah, I still want to get the Superboy one, but this is the one I consider the actual first appearance. Because the Superboy one was just a dream, wasn't it?
I honestly can't remember.
It's been a while since I've read the book.
I take it as a prototype more than
Yeah.
anything else, because Superboy one was like a year. This came out a year after the
Yeah.
Superboy, so I take it as a prototype.
I think it's more like when it was the Supergirl, and then 252 came out 6 months later.
Yeah,
I think it's more like that, but that's just me. So.
and I know I'm doing a lot of sets here, but I have a lot of books to show off this year.
Yeah,
So-
he really put it in high gear this year.
And to be honest,
So
I'm gonna,
we're sorry that this video is like really long.
yeah, I'm probably gonna do the same thing next year too, try and put it in high gear. But I got this one for a really good deal. I only paid $20 for this, and I think that this is gonna get 7. Honestly, this is the first Silver Age appearance of Toyman,
Okay.
and I was really happy I got this. I got this from Moore Comics.
Yeah.
Moore, and he has a really good selection. And when I found this out, I wanted to take it immediately. It's such a good cover. It's so clean. And if I send this back in,
I think that you might get a higher grade than my 4 or 5.
yeah, I'm hoping I get a 7, but I don't want to
know
count
if you're
on
going
it.
to get a 7. You might get a 6.
I really love how good condition this is.
Yeah.
And then I got this one, and this was at the beginning of the year, and this one was a little complicated because when I bought it, I wasn't expecting the condition that it came in. There's a page detached inside, and then it's missing bits of the cover from the front and the back. So I want to say it's a 1.8 to a 2. And when I talked to the guy, he was really understanding about it. And we worked something out, and I only paid like $50 for this.
Yeah, this was an eBay sale, right?
Yeah, this was an eBay one. And I was really happy with it. because I sat on it for like 6 months, and then I realized it's worth a lot more than what what I got out of it. So this is definitely gonna get in. This is a multiple key issue. This is the first Supergirl joining the Legion of Superheroes. This is the first Bouncing Boy, the first Phantom Girl, the first Brainiac 5, and a couple others. I think it's Chameleon Boy, but I think that's another one. But but this has at least like 5, 6 first appearances in it, and even though it has a couple problems with it, I'm really happy with it.
Okay.
This one I just got a month ago, and I love it. This is the first appearance of the Crime Syndicate, and I only paid $20 for this book. Believe it or not, I think it'll make it a 3.5, maybe a 3. But I love this book, and when they were announcing everything with Superman, I wanted to go after one before it started going up more, because it's also the first appearance of Ultraman, and there's a lot of
this
talk.
book really blew up after they announced it.
Yeah,
and you got lucky because as soon as they announced this, right after you got this, they released a trailer.
They released a trailer, and the book spiked to low grade is going for $60 raw. And I was so happy I got this underneath everything. Okay, and I just love it. I love it so much. I'm gonna start off with this one. Okay, this one is complete. This is Action Comics 340, the first Parasite. It does have the poster in the middle. When I bought it, I can't remember how much I paid for it, but I know it was under $70. And the guy says it's going to be a 3.5, but I'm hoping I get a 4 out of it if I send it in.
And these are really hard to get with the poster intact. I've had, 3 of them?
Yeah, you had 3 of them.
And the first 2, oh yeah, they're complete. And then when I get them from eBay,
they're not complete.
They're missing the poster
and
inside.
Before, it was like 2 years before, when you sent them in, they gave you a 4.0 off the bat. I mean,
right.
a 1.5 off the bat, because it didn't have the poster.
Right. Yeah, so I finally got one. Mine's like 5.0.
It's like a 4.5 or something like that.
I can't remember. It's over there. I finally got one with the poster, but it's over there. And, it's just this one and the Silver Age Catwoman are always hard to find with that poster. So
it is. It's always is. And and that's why I didn't want to go after it. But when I found out about it, I wanted to go after this one. This one is also a high priced book, and the amount of money I paid under $100 for this, and I'm just surprised I did. This is the first appearance, technically the first true appearance of the Fortress of Solitude. It does connect with Superman 17 and Superman 58, which were slight mentions and a prototype too. But technically, this is the first Fortress of Solitude. This is a very key book in Superman. If you're a Superman collector, this is a main book.
Yeah, and I was kind of irritated when he got it because he never told me he was watching it, and all of a sudden it just showed up, and I cannot find one for anywhere close to the price he paid.
It's because after I bought it, okay, it was on a bidding like I did with the first Human Target. It was on a bidding, and I slipped in with a quick bid, and I won it. Right after that, it blew up even more than what it was supposed to. I'm hoping if I get this graded, it comes back over a 3. But I don't want to make any assumptions or anything like that. It's a 10-center book, so they may give me a break, they may not. So I'm just praying that when I send this in this year, it's gonna get a good grade, and I'm gonna love it.
All right, so my next book, the kids got me for Christmas. They didn't know they got it for me, but they did. So I saw this and I was like, well, I have to have it. I have some Superman Mark Jewelers, This is pretty much the only Marvel book that I haven't. Well, not the only one, but pretty much close to the only one. It's the first appearance of Deadpool, New Mutants '98, but it's a Mark Jewelers newsstand edition, and those are extremely rare for the '90s. It's only a 9.0, but you know, again, it's a Mark Jewelers, and those are almost impossible to find. So, next time he does a CGC signing, I'll probably send it in to get signed by Rob Liefeld, and we'll be good. So, I'm trying to speed this up a little bit because we've talked a little bit, and I don't want to bore you guys. So,
Yeah, especially since I still have a lot.
all right.
This one, I technically got in a trade, but I technically didn't. I traded, and I spent the money, and then and all that money basically went straight to this. But I love this character. I've been looking for it for the last 5 years now. This is the first appearance of Jonah Hex at 4.5. Okay. I love his character. They adapted him so many times. His live action movie, everybody hated it, but I loved it. I just thought, I can't remember his name, but
Brolin.
Yeah, Brolin, Josh Brolin.
Mm-hmm.
He's played Thanos. What was it, around 2019 for Marvel? But before that, he was Jonah Hex, and I think he did a fine job with him and Megan Fox. Just
Megan Fox's character made no sense, but
she was supposed to be the love interest, and even though her character didn't make any sense, she was good for the part. It wasn't their fault. That's the problem.
It was just a bad script.
And even with the bad script, I still loved it because they don't do anything with Jonah Hex. I count him as a forgotten character because you either get him a couple times in comics because he's a Wild West character,
right.
So you have to use him in time travel, or where they did him in Ultimate Justice League Unlimited. I thought that was good.
Yeah, again, that was a time travel story. They went back in time.
Yeah, and then whenever they did him for another timepiece for Showcase Special, that was a good one too. But I've been looking for this one for quite a while, and I finally got it, and I just love it to death.
Yeah, he wanted to kill me for 3 years, because I didn't know anything about Jonah Hex, and I passed up. I was doing a trade, and I passed up. It had to be like a high grade.
It had to be at least a 6.5 to a 7. Okay?
Yeah, and he was like, "Oh yeah, well I'll trade you this and a few other books." You know, he was just going to basically throw it in. He had no earthly idea what it was. I had no earthly idea what it was. But he was like, "Dad, you need to get it. You need to get it." I was like, "It's a Western. I don't want a Western."
Exactly, but I wanted it, and it was that, and that's how you got the Atlas that I have now.
Yeah.
And the Atlas paid off because that got 9.8.
Yeah.
But if I would have got that
this guy had all high grade books, and for Silver Age, I was surprised, but I was like, "It's a Western. I don't want a Western." I didn't know it was Jonah Hex.
We looked it up like 3 weeks later.
Yeah.
And I was like, I knew it. I knew it was that character, and he was just like, "Oh, you told me. I was beating up for a while about it.
He's been yelling at me for 3 years.
And then whenever I found my sights on this, okay, it just called to me, and I was debating over this and Xantana and the Jonah Hex one, and I finally got it. Again, it's one of my most prized possessions in my collection.
Now this next one is one of the Harley Quinns, and I've been after this book. I have 4 or 5 copies of the second, third prints.
Yeah.
I finally got this one from a friend of mine that I found on Facebook. He owns a comic shop in Missouri, or is
Missouri?
No, Kentucky.
Oh,
Kentucky. And I bought another one of my books that's in here from him, and I bought this one raw, and it came back like 2 weeks ago, and it came back at 9.8. I wasn't expecting it. I was hoping, but I wasn't expecting it. This is the first in continuity appearance of Harley Quinn. So I was really glad about that one, especially for it coming back in 9.8, because I was expecting a 9.2, and that's still, a $200 book?
$150 to $200. It all depends on.
And
who
with the
you sell it
9.8, it's $400 to $500.
to. And that's easy pickings. Is the other one in here?
Yeah.
Okay.
But that guy, I can't remember his name right now. He has really fair prices. I think I paid $80 for that raw.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, this one, I really didn't care about. I knew about it, but I didn't care that it was a key. I cared about the cover because the cover shows the Twin Towers right at the corner of it, and I got this for a steal. I'm telling you, when I went on eBay and found this, I got it for $12. I literally paid $12 for this.
And I was so irritated because he didn't know I was looking for this because his sisters, one of his sisters is named after the main character in this book. Well, the why it's a key issue.
Yeah.
And I've been looking for a high grade copy of this because every time I get one and I can send it to get graded, it gets an 8.0, 7.0. I mean, I gave his sister one. It was a 7.5.
It was a 7. It was a 7 newsstand though.
And I'm trying to get each one of the kids their namesake in a high grade, and one of them I'm never going to get. It's Supergirl.
It's Supergirl.
And she's I'm never going to get a high grade.
And then mine is Superman, and you're
Right.
never gonna touch that one.
No. So, but this one, I was like, oh, let me buy it off you. He won't sell it to me. It's just irritating.
It's because I got it for so cheap, and I've been wanting this. And it's not even because it's a first appearance of General Lane and a first appearance of Cat Grant. But I find it controversial because there's the Twin Towers are in the back, right below his feet. And I just love this cover. It's such an iconic cover.
And Cat Grant is the one that I named one of my older girls off of.
Yeah,
So.
and it getting a 9.6. This is an impossible. This is an impossible book to find at 9.6.
This is a common book, and they just toss it around.
Yeah,
Now, I've found 9.8s, but I want to send it in and get graded myself.
well,
We sent this in and got graded, right?
what, this one?
Yeah, we sent.
No, I bought this at 9.6.
Oh, I thought we sent this one in.
No, okay. So this had an old label, and I bought this.
Oh, okay.
For $12.
We got
yeah.
to relabel.
Yeah, and that's why I wouldn't sell it to him because this was a guaranteed 9.6, and there was no way I was gonna get another one back.
Yeah, we sent this in when they did the sale on the relabels.
Yeah.
The reslabbings. So again, this is one that we just got back recently, and this was what do you call it? A
Resubmission?
no, not a resubmission. It was a CPR.
Oh yeah.
So this was originally a 9.2, and again, our grader, our cleaner, Justin from Justin Comics on Instagram, did a great job. It was a 9.2. The reason I got a 9.2 because it had a mark right here on the back, and there was one spine tick in it.
Yeah.
And that's what the grader's note said. So he took the mark out and he cleaned the back of the cover, and he did a really good press job, and it came back at 9.8. I have submitted ungodly amounts of booster golds.
I had to be like 20, and the 20th one before this one was a facsimile foil edition from San Diego Comic-Con.
And I bought it from San Diego Comic-Con and sent it straight to CGC, and it came back at 9.6. I was so irritated. There's not a mark on that book. The grader had to have broken up with his girlfriend, just got a divorce or something, because that book is perfect. It should have got a 9.9.
And he paid full price of it for Comic-Con prices. I thought it was hilarious. But whatever. And this one I traded back to you. So whenever I traded it back to you, he just had the wonderful idea to send it to Justin, and I was just like, oh my god, how did that happen?
Yeah, because I bought this for you for Christmas, 6 years ago?
Yeah, and then we traded with the 8.5.
Right.
Yeah.
And I traded it for him for 8.5. Again, a book that I thought was perfect. I sent it in, and it was an 8.5 newsstand. It was a raw newsstand when I got it. sent it in, got it back this year, and it was 8.5. I was like, for Christ's sake, what do I have to do to get a 9.8?
Do I have to beg and plead?
And apparently I just had to send more books to Justin. So.
And right after that, when we got this whole entire lot back, I traded him back to 8.5 and got this beautiful 9.6 newsstand.
Yeah,
Now,
he was really wanting the newsstand, and again, this is one that I bought raw.
Yeah.
And sent in to Justin, and I thought it was going to get a 9.8, especially after Justin worked on it. But a 9.6, and I was wanting a matching set. I was wanting a direct and a newsstand.
And I loved 8.5. I loved how it presented with the barcode, but when he had the 9.6, I was like, I can deal with the 9.6, and I know I'm not gonna go on eBay and pay these BS eBay prices because they're going for like $200-$300, and nothing's been announced.
Well, it's been announced, but
it's
back when it first got announced, they were going for like $700.
Yeah, and they slowly come down, but I'm not doing them.
Yeah.
So I decided to do this, and it's still a beautiful book, and I'm never gonna get rid of it.
And Booster Gold is one of my favorite characters. I mean, him and Skeets, time traveling jackass that doesn't know what the hell he's doing. I just love that story.
Always trying to confirm with Skeets, and the recent book, what was it? All In, DC
Yeah.
All In. He goes to the Dark Side planet, and he loses Skeets, and he has nothing to do, and they cut it off at the end of it.
Yeah.
I haven't read anything farther than that.
So
It's still worth it.
And I can't wait and see who James Gunn casts for that one. All right, you're next.
You're next.
Oh yeah, okay. So the same guy that I bought the Harley Quinn from, I bought this one from, and it's my first and only 9.9. I know 9.9s mean jack shit.
There, let's take it out of the bag so the glare.
But I still have to have a 9.9 in my collection. It's a BTC. I had a 9.8 of it, and when I saw this one, I was like, it's a 9.9, and the guy only wanted $100 for it, and that's when I started dealing with them, and so, you know, I was like, yeah.
I mean, like, it's a 9.9.
Yeah.
I mean, even though it's a book that really gone down, it was well over worth it.
Yeah. So, I mean, again, it's a 9.9. So, I mean, that's the only reason. It's even 9.8 is selling for what, $89, $90?
$89.90. The farthest it's gone to is $109.
Yeah.
This book was Superman #1. This was the series that started off with the dawn of DC of
Right.
Superman for Supercorp.
Yeah. So.
This one is another set, and I only count this as a set because I got it exactly at the same time.
All right, you're gonna have to speed through this.
Yeah, I am. This one is, I bought this from him. This is a Firestorm #1, first appearance of Firestorm. I love them. I still think that they're forgotten characters, especially when they redid them. And then right after that, I bought this for $60. I got 9.0, one grade higher, first appearance of Killer Frost.
Yeah.
And it was just a perfect set.
They did a good job on them in Flash, but not the greatest job. I really like Firestorm as a character, and I think they need to do him in.
I like him better
action.
in all the animations.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
I remember him from Superpowers team, and I loved him in Superpowers team.
Oh yeah, he was in Superpowers team, wasn't
Yeah. Now this next one isn't a purchase. I didn't buy this book. I traded for this book, and I was so scared when I traded for this book because I traded a 9.8 signed by Michael Keaton, newsstand version of Batman '89.
Yeah.
And that book is a ghost. You can't find that one anywhere. A newsstand especially, signed by Michael Keaton. So I traded for Batman Adventures 12, 9.6. And I personally think this can be a 9.8. Everyone's telling me to send it back in and get it pressed and resubmit as a CPR candidate, but it's a 9.6.
You can't go higher than that.
It's close enough for me.
Yeah.
And knowing that it could probably get a 9.8, I don't think the guy pressed it.
Maybe a little down the road.
Maybe when I'm willing to risk it.
But for right now, you want to sit on the gloriness.
But again, this is another one of my kids' name is Harley, so Harley Quinn. So I had to get it. So
just to make this quick, I'm gonna do these two together. This one I got from him recently because I love this cover, and it's signed by Tinian. This is a 9.6 Something's Killing Children, #1. I think this is the first cover of the Dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I just love this cover. Now, Something's Killing Children is a really good story. I would advise you guys to read it, but I'm not gonna force it on you.
I'm still buying the monthlies.
Yeah, it's just I love the first few issues. I got into it, and sometimes some of the stories to me, especially in certain comic book stories, they just lose my interest. But I love this cover. I love this cover, and it being signed was worth it. And then I got this one a little bit ago from him. This is a 7.5 252 newsstand, and I have one, but I don't know what grade it's gonna get because it's raw and it's a little bit beat up. So I am perfectly fine sitting on this 7.5. First appearance as a symbiote. It's a really good cover. I've been trying to
Tied.
Yeah, first appearance of symbiote tied with like 3 other covers.
Yeah.
And I keep on forgetting about that. And
well, actually, it's not the first appearance. It's the first because the first appearance is 300.
It's the first appearance of the symbiote, not the first appearance of Venom.
Okay.
And I also have that one too, double signed, but I got that a while back, and kind of got it back. It's the same exact book, and it's a whole kind of complicated story, but still, it was still worth it.
All right, this one I got in January. This was a complicated trade. A buddy of mine, well, used to be a buddy, was doing the con circuit, and all of the Supermans, well, 5 of them were going to be at this con. Well, I could have got Tim Daly's too, but we were haggling over the price, so I went with 5. This is signed by Superman Dean Cain, Tyler Hoechlin, also signed Best, Brandon Roth, and signed by Tom Welling. It's the BTC Superman 78, 9.8, signed by 5 of the Superman. So I'm really happy with this one. With the way this guy was treating the books, I never expected it to come back in 9.8. But it did. I was happy with it. Even though we went through hell to get this book. But
It was worth it. It was so worth it. Again, I'm gonna go through these as fast as I can. So I'm gonna start off with this one. These I count as going all together, but this one is Green Lantern 85. That's the drug issue, and I got these for less than $100. That's the first one. This is the conclusion.
I thought this was the first one.
No, this is the conclusion.
Okay.
Because this is the one to where they bail him out of jail.
Okay.
And that's when they meet the detective and they go over the whole entire lesson of drugs are bad and everything like that. This one is what makes it. Because this is the iconic cover. Everybody's looking for
This one's the pricey one.
Yeah. But they're all low grade. Maybe 2s. Still 1.8s. But they were, for what I bought them for, they were worth it.
When he told me what he paid for these, I was like, are you crazy? Does he have more? Because I've been looking for these too.
Yeah. I got the conclusion for that, and then I bought this one. Because of everything going on with the Green Lanterns and John Stewart, This is the very first appearance of Jon Stewart and second appearance of Guy Gardner.
Mm-hmm.
And even though it's a low grade and has an extra staple, it was worth what I paid for it. I want a 2.5, but I don't think I'm going to get that.
I think you're going to get a purple label.
I think I'm going to get purple label too because of the
extra staple.
The extra staple.
And once it's in there, it's impossible to get it removed.
Yeah. But this, I count this as a set because of it's in the same series and it's so close. I love the price that I got them for and what I got them for with it.
And my last book, I don't know how many more books he has, but my last book is a book that I got from Bryce Comics. Now, he did me a huge favor. I sold him some books, basically, and then I used that money and paid. Basically, I traded him books for it. This is the first appearance of Zatanna. It's Hawkman number 4, and it's a 3.0. Now, it's not a great grade, but I only paid $280 for this.
Mm-hmm.
And that book is impossible to find for that price.
Especially right now.
I mean, that book is what, almost a $500-600 book normally?
Right now, it's...
And... Okay, so I sold him the books. I used that cash to pay him for this book. And I also used his collect 10 and got 10% off. So he had it listed for $300 and I ended up getting it for like $380 or something. I mean $280. So it's ungodly steal. So I mean the first appearance of Zatanna, it's almost an impossible book to find.
Exactly. And whenever he got this in, I was so mad that you got this one in because I've been looking for a first Zatanna too. I've been wanting Zatanna and Zatara for quite a while now because I think Zatara is just a forgotten character. Nobody knows him.
But I mean, you have to get an actual one for that one.
Yeah.
Zatara is her dad.
Yeah. This one I got in this year. I got this one in recently. That's my BA-12. Now, it is a low-grade copy, but it's the only one that I got, and it's a newsstand. And I love it.
And it's not exactly a low grade. It was just, it has this little imperfection right here.
And I think that perfection came out of the 26 packs that they did for, what was it called?
The Death of Superman packs?
Yeah, the Death of Superman packs.
The Toys R Us packs.
And I think whenever somebody opened it up, they kind of scratched it and then they tore it. So I'm not mad about it.
Besides for that, the book's immaculate.
Yeah, so because of that, I think it's going to get 7.
But the imperfection goes all the way through the book.
Yeah.
And that's what bites about it. But,
so I don't know what it's going to get. But I did get this one together. But this one came first. This is the second appearance of Harley Quinn in total. And it's also the first appearance of Bud and Lou, her hyenas.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been wanting these for quite a while now. I think it's a perfect set. I have I have a few more. This is the first cat. This is technically a prototype leading off to 2 books. One of them is the first Hellcat, which I have that one, but it's missing the Marvel stamp, and I was really mad when I got that one in. And then the other one is Tigra, and that's who she transforms into after she the cat suit ends up leaving her.
Okay.
And I got this one for $20. I was really happy with that one. This is the first Talia al Ghul. I was really happy with this one.
With the Brave and the Bold movie, this is going to be...
Exactly. And that's why I was so happy when I got
this
it.
This is the new Robin's mother.
Damian Wayans. A little bit after that, when I first... right after the summer, I got this one. This is the first Silver Age appearance of Aquaman. First Silver Age appearance of Green Arrow, and first Silver Age appearance of Speedy. Mm-hmm. And I love this book to death. Now, they say, the person I bought from says it's going to be a 2.5, but I'm hoping I get a 3. This one I got in a trade with, whenever I got the Jonah Hex. Mm-hmm. And I'm so happy I did. I got this from Moore's Comics again, and I'm so happy he was able to do
Norris
it.
Comics is in LaPorte, Indiana.
Yeah, and this is the first appearance and origin of Metamorpho, first Java, first Simon Sage, first Sapphire Sage too. And this one is about to blow up because the movie is, there's talk that the movie of Superman is going to be based around Metamorpho's origin.
I think they're doing like 3 or 4 different books in that movie.
Yeah, and this one is going to be one of the big kickers. So I'm happy I got this one.
You got a huge stack there. I thought we were only doing like 10.
Okay, this one was the first Star Sapphire in costume. I got this one for a really good price. I'm so happy I did. And then I also got this one, the first appearance of Alec Holt, and this is
second Swamp Thing.
the second Swamp Thing, first solo appearance of Swamp Thing too.
The first solo series.
First solo series, yep. And this is the first Nubia,
And I was ticked when I saw that he got this one.
and I only got for $20 too.
Yeah,
it was $20 plus
can't-
$5 shipping.
I can't find this one for less than $100.
And even though it's a low grade because it's missing a corner and then the staple is detached, it still was worth every penny. And this one is a set. This last series is gonna be a set. I got this one for Christmas, which I'm really happy about. My girlfriend and him went in and got me a Batman Beyond #1, first Terry McGinnis. 9.6 direct, and I love this thing to death. I've been wanting a first Terry McGinnis for quite a while now. Ever since I've seen that show on every Sunday when I was a kid, I loved Terry McGinnis as Batman Beyond.
Every Sunday?
It was every Saturday. I mean,
No, that show was reruns by the time you watched
and that's
it.
when I was able to watch it
It was still a weekly show back then?
because it was on the WB every
okay.
Sunday morning. Right after that,
I was
Justice League.
going to say, this show came out when I was a kid.
Right after that, Justice League came on and Justice League Unlimited, and then that's when they started doing the reruns of the Hanna-Barbera.
Yeah.
And I just love Terry McGinnis' Batman Beyond. It was the best. And the final episode of Justice League Unlimited, where they did his origin, where he was the son of Bruce Wayne Batman, I just loved it. And on top of that, I got #2, his second appearance, #3, his first bad guy, #4 and 5, #6, which is the first ink, and then #1 of his second series, but first ongoing series, #4 of the first 10 in comic book form, and then #21, the first Justice League Unlimited. It was so worth it. I'm only missing 3. I'm only missing 3 books, but one of them is a key, and that's the first Batman Return of the Joker. That's the Batman Beyond Return of the Joker, the adaptation comic, and I'm so happy that I got this one for Christmas. Yeah. And that was all we got, and that was all I have.
So, our next video. Sorry, this one's so long. Our next one, we're gonna try to keep it a little shorter. It's going to be our top 10 gets for the year, and so we're gonna put that one out probably here in the next week or so.
Yeah.
So appreciate everyone watching. If you made it this far, please like, subscribe. I have like 3 people subscribed, so I'm trying to get up, and appreciate it, and we'll talk to you later.
And I'm sorry this video was so long.
All right.
Bye.